Welcome fight fans to my channel. This is Johnny, and today we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning the championship fight between Inoue and Nery. Guys, as fight fans, we have been spoiled. This past weekend, we're just coming off the fight between Canelo Alvarez and Jaime Munguia. A few weeks back, we had Devin Haney versus Garcia. We had Tim Tszyu and Seth Fendora, which seems a year ago. Next week in Perth, we got George Kambosos versus Vasily Lomachenko for the IBO lightweight world title. But last night, if you guys are in Australia, did you stay up and watch it? We had the 122-pound super bantamweight undisputed titles on the line with the Japanese monster Nery Inoue taking on the Mexican Nery. Guys, this was almost a fight of revenge of sorts. If we remember in 2018, Nery defeated the Japanese legend Shinsuke Yamanaka twice and knocked Yamanaka out, retired him. In recent interviews, Inoue mentioned those defeats and said that he was coming for revenge. And this fight started off with fireworks. What we're gonna do today in this video is go over the punch statistics. We're gonna talk about a very impressive stat last night that was broken by Nery against Inoue, and we're gonna focus on the jabs, the power shots, and talk a little bit about the punches that tell the story in boxing, which a lot of times lead to victories. All right, guys, we know there was vitriol on this fight due to Inoue saying that he was gonna revenge Yamanaka's 2 losses, and Nery knew this. Both guys started off on fire. Uncharacteristically though from Inoue, as the fight started, he came in reckless and dropped his guard, and for the first time in his career, the Japanese monster was floored, and it was a brutal knockdown. The guys hadn't even settled into a fight yet. Usually the longer a fight goes, your chin could take bigger hits, believe it or not, because you're used to getting hit. It's those early knockdowns when your system kind of gets shocked that sometimes rattles you and you can't recover from it. So once Inoue went down, it wasn't only the first time in his career he got knocked down, it was the first time in 45 rounds, breaking a 45-round streak, that Inoue was out-punched and out-landed. And Nery looked to gain on this momentum going to the second round. But in typical Inoue fashion, Inoue rallied in the second, dropped Nery, and then again in the fifth, dropped him coming in, but in the sixth, finished the show with a brutal knockout of Nery, and the referee stepped in. I want to take a little look at those statistics and see what led up to that brutal 6th-round finish. All right, guys, let's recap that statistic I mentioned earlier. In a shocking turn of events in round 1, not only did Nery break Inoue's streak of outlanding opponents over the last 45 rounds he's fought, Nery also landed a left hook that knocked Inoue down for the first time in Inoue's career. Inoue returned the favor in the second frame, landing his own left hook that knocked Nery down. After the second round, Inoue outlanded Nery over the next rounds. Inoue knocked Nery down in the 5th again, and another left hook knocking him out in the 6th round, forcing the referee to step in. When we look at the percentages, that first round, total punches landed, the round that broke Inoue's 45-round streak, he only landed 8 punches and threw 24. Nery landed 15 and threw 52, so doubled Inoue up. When we look at the overall final punch report though, total punches thrown, Inoue 239, Nery 194. Total punches landed, Inoue 107, Nery 54. It's the percentages, guys, which make Inoue great. Not only he's an accurate puncher, he's gonna out-volume you in his pace. We've yet to see anybody to keep that pace up. Nery started off on track, but even the announcers were like, will he be able to keep up with Inoue's relentless tempo and pressure? When you got a fighter like Inoue landing at over 50% clip total punches throughout a fight, it's gonna be hard to keep up with that. Let's look at the jabs. You guys always hear me tell you, the jabs tell the bigger story. The jab is the punch that allows the fighter to paint his picture, whether he's a volume striker or a power puncher. That jab lets you into your offense. And total jabs landed in the fight, Inoue threw 112, landing 45 at a 40% clip. Nery threw 70, landing at a 20% clip. So you have one guy, Inoue, at 41% total jabs landed, and then you have Nery at 28%. almost always the guy with the higher percentage of jabs landed is going to win the fight. Why? Because that jab is going to set up their power, and we know Inoue is a special, once-in-a-generation knockout artist. Let's look at those power shots. Total power shots of the fight, Inoue throws 127 and lands 62 at a 49% clip. Nery throws 124, but only lands 34 at a 27% clip. Once again, Nery was almost on track with Inoue in terms of total power shots thrown, but when you look at the percentages, the accuracy, Inoue was around 50% and Nery was around 28%. It's the accuracy and precision in these lower weight classes that has made the Japanese monster so feared. We know he's the king, undisputed at 122 pounds. He's conquered everything from 109 up to super bantamweight. The only question with Inoue now is, will he stay at 122 or will he move up where there's a lot more bigger fights? And one more thing I should mention, I'll show a picture here. This should squash all the Americans saying Inoue needs to come to America to fight. A, he's already come to America to fight, but B, why? When you look at this crowd in Japan, 55,000 people for the prelims. That sounds like a pretty good crowd to me. Who do you want to see the Japanese monster fight? Tell me what you think of his performance against Louis Nery. Leave all that, guys, in the comment section below.